It was very difficult, Stugotz, to win Gasbag of the Week this week because Bill Simmons got knocked out as Gasbag of the Week, even though we have audio here of him saying he'd prefer Gabe Vincent's contract to Kyrie Irving's contract. But we have something better than that. Here is Meadowlark's
Gasbag
expert
of the week.
What happened there?
Amin El Hassan is our gas bag of the week because of his analysis when the Celtics traded for Drew Holiday.
Going out and get Damian Lillard for Drew Holiday's corpse and some toenail clippings isn't
what are you doing?
Making this team significantly better. What do you mean, what am I doing?
I mean, what are you saying? You're calling people crud and toenail clippings, and you just called someone a corpse.
No. Hey, you think Drew Holiday is at his peak right now?
No, there's a difference between being at your peak and being a corpse. There are a lot of stops between those two things.
Man, it ain't that many more stops.
Against the Pacers.
Highest I've ever heard your voice.
Against the Pacers, Drew Holiday, 18.5 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, 6 assists per game. He had the game-winning steal in Game 3. And according to Stat Mamba on Twitter, he's the first player to average 15, 5, and 5 with a true shooting percentage over 75% in a conference finals series.
The rare sweep that could have been a sweep the other way. Rob Brendamore is probably watching at home saying, that's what I was talking about over there. The Pacers had a 90% win probability late in those games in 3 out of the 4.
But the Celtics are doing all the things we questioned about the Celtics headed into the postseason. They're playing great. They're doing it late.
And they're doing it late.
Yes.
It's just not the person that we want to see do it late. So
Doesn't
it's
matter.
a little confusing. But, yeah, and if you're a Celtics fan, you don't really care if Tatum's the one doing it. You just want to get there.
Being a corpse. It's very strong to call somebody a corpse who could have won Eastern Conference Finals MVP over Jaylen Brown. Like, could have won it over it. Being a corpse. A corpse.
This is sneaky because it's not really when people were talking over the course of the regular season, when they were given their opinions on what we might see in the NBA Finals. Boston was always in that conversation, but no one really gave Dallas a chance. And if the Celtics finally going for a high-definition NBA title isn't enough of an appeal to get you into the tent, Kyrie going back to Boston, a place where he's been videoed saging. I mean, this is amazing drama for a sport that has kind of lacked that drama, and it's what the NBA does so well. So I'm in on this NBA Finals. I might have been out on the playoffs, but if it's Dallas-Boston, every game with sound on.
Wow, the highest compliment.
Sound on.
When Mike Ryan says that the Celtics are confusing, here are a couple of things that are going to be hard to get your head around. Right now, Jason Tatum is on pace to have the second most postseason points ever before he's done because he's always there and he's scoring a bunch of points. And I do believe people are generally reluctant to confer greatness upon this Celtics team, at least in part because there's somewhere in our expectation. I don't know what we're doing here. I don't think it's fair. No, Derek White, I don't want you hitting the important shot with Jaylen Brown setting it up. I want Tatum to do it. I want your best player to have to bail out the team in big moments and be better than everybody. And I don't think history cares or remembers any of that stuff. I don't think it ends up mattering. Just like history doesn't remember the injuries. Kawhi Leonard and Toronto have a championship forever, and nobody cares that Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant were hurt in those finals. So if the Celtics win the championship, it'll simply be one of the best teams ever. But I do wonder whether or not people will remember it that way because of because it's a new sport. They play the game differently than it's been played.
It's been an easy path.
And this team has mastered. Yeah, but easy paths, Stugotz.
I mean, it has been.
It has been an easy path, but it's not like they've gone 12-2.
Right.
In an easy path. They've lost 2 times.
They have 20 losses headed into the NBA Finals, and there aren't a whole bunch of teams in the sport's history that have had 20 or fewer losses headed into the NBA Finals. That's like the Bulls, the Golden State Warriors, those types of teams. They heat in 2013.
They have this. This is what I will say about the Celtics, which is a weird thing to say. They will, if they win the championship, empirically, they will have one of the most dominant seasons that any team has ever had, and it will not be remembered that way.
And that's just how the sport's changed?
I don't have a better explanation for you, right?
Well, I think that the offensive numbers probably just skew everything right now, so you can't actually apply the proper historical prism. It was like it's before integration in some sports, like the gulf between where the game was in, say, the 90s and where it is now offensively. It's an unrecognizable sport. You have to talk about like pre-merger. You have to talk about it in those terms, pre-merger terms.
Only Kobe Bryant, Stugotz, has more playoff points by this age than Tatum. And he does a lot of scoring of 35, and then you're like, and show me all the ones you remember. Show me all the ones at the end of games. Show me all the ones where I had to see him tested, and I was like, oh, you went face-to-face with Luka. I know Luka's got it. Whatever that is, I know he's got it. He's not afraid of anything. But Luka has just come and stolen out of nowhere, Stugotz. The thing we were talking about with suffering, he suffered. Like, he has been hurt in the playoffs.
We think.
He's been emotionally hurt in the playoffs, physically hurt in the playoffs, and now he sneaks in through the side on, oh, wait a minute. Is it going to be the young players that take over the league? Because I don't think of Luka as young. I think of him as 39.
That guy.
I think of him. I don't think of him as, he is a young player, but I don't think of him as a young player.
He's 25.
His body's not. There's a lot on that odometer.
That's what I'm saying.
He's 25, but there are 100,000 miles on the odometer, and 3 or 4 of the lights are on. 3 or 4 of the lights you don't recognize are on.
How is he 25? I'm not buying it.
It can't be. Luka, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is Luka a young player?
He's younger than Tatum.
Historically, the NBA prime is right around 27 years old. So he still hasn't entered his prime, although his body probably changes the math.
Will he make it?
It'll be the rare 50-50 poll on is he a young player?
It's not that bad, is it? I mean, he does look boxy. Like when they show the graphics of like the conference final players to promote on the lower third, it does, like, his body looks different, but I guess I have a very similar build, so I'm like, I don't see it.
I'm 25. That's how old I am. We are not the same age. We are not the same.
Lucy, congratulations, by the way. I saw that Awful Announcing voted you as one of the rising newcomers in the American sports media.
Nice.
I salute you. Nobody else around here won the award handed out by Awful Announcing.
I'm 35. So
Thank you. You're 35?
I'm actually
Whoa.
37. I just because 25. I just
Not a
doing
newcomer.
Well, Jeremy just gave you a side eye right now because he thinks he should be one of the up-and-coming media
I mean, obviously.
newcomers. And
I don't have an Emmy, so.
Case in point.
It's not a competition, except it is.
Well, you just made it one.
And
Well,
I won.
It is.
Why do you always do that,
I
man?
mean, it is a competition. I didn't do it. I didn't give her the side eye. Jeremy gave her the side eye when I saluted her for getting an award.
No. Then you also threw in no one else around here
Yeah.
has done that.
That's the look.
I think you,
Chris.
I think you and I are done winning newcomer awards. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sorry for being so successful. I don't know what you want from me.
Quickly apologize for your 20 years of success, Stugotz.
I am now going to get to the promised list of the worst that South Florida sports fans have ever felt. Top 5.
Okay.
And
Exciting.
I'd like to see if you guys could come up with any more nominees. And these are all season enders, okay? Because I'm telling you that I felt some of what gets felt when a season is closed in that Panther game, specifically, Stugotz, because they're the best third-period team in the league. They had 30 shot attempts in the third period. They came back from 4-2 in the third period. They had an advantage on shot attempts of 108 to 43. And then they lose the game, and it's in a pathetic way. It's Bobrovsky, like, calling for, please. It's Bobrovsky. The goal's behind him.
I can't see.
Yeah, we gotta mill about here to see if they go to review and give us a freebie as Bobrovsky whimpers, allowing his 5th goal that somebody gave him an elbow when nobody gave him an elbow, and it wasn't any kind of interference. And it was just it just made me terribly sad for Panther fans.
They're down 2-1 against the Rangers.
No, but Dan's so right. We're down 4-2 going into that period. We get 2 goals, so you could think right there, this is a good period. I'll take overtime, but no. The final 10 minutes, the amount of chances, the deflation that we felt from not getting that go-ahead goal in that third, I felt like we lost right there.
The place was ready to erupt. Stugotz, here's what you have happening in this series.
Well, half the place, because half of the
Ranger
season
fans.
ticket
Ranger
holders
fans,
made
yeah.
a decision over the weekend that I'm not thrilled about.
It wasn't half.
I mean, they needed the money.
It was a lot of Ranger
Sounded
fans.
like half.
There
It was
were
a lot of money.
lot
Yeah.
of Ranger fans. I thought up 1-0, and you're in New York, and the game's tied 1-1, and there's just a beautiful give and go to Barkov right in front of the net. And from there, the Panthers have done nothing but lose. Barkov somehow missed. I was not expecting him to miss. Never expecting him to miss. And ever since Chris Cody took this photograph in New York, a lot of people are pointing out that the Panthers have done nothing but lose since Chris Cody attached his particular brand of stink to the Panthers' run.
Mike Fuentes, dead to me. Unnecessary tweet.
So it's your fault.
I mean,
Hey, you enjoy your 37 retweets with that, buddy?
Whoa.
Jesus.
No, I hate him.
Lashing out. I mean, it's a great tweet.
No, you think he knew what he was doing there. He's like, oh, this is going to crush. This will be good. And what do you care about my feelings, though? Nothing? No. How's this going to make Chris feel? I bet that didn't cross his mind.
No.
Jerk.
do you feel like you're a jinx and a poison and that you're spoiling everything that felt
Only
good
at
about
road
the
games.
Panthers?
Don't do this to me. I have a good home record. I've been to a lot of
you at
games
game
this
3?
year. I was at game 3. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
It's my new Kachuk jersey. That's
Right.
0-2. That thing's not getting worn tonight.
Yeah.
Throw it away.
I'm like
Yeah.
that too.
You
The
have to burn
Reinhardt,
it.
my Reinhardt jersey's 0-2-1. Not wearing that thing again.
I almost burnt it.
You should.
Put it on the poll, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Will you superstitiously toss the wearing of a jersey after you've lost an important game?
We're going red, Captain C. Barkov today.
I'm going Old Faithful Kachuk jersey because that thing's about 10-2 this year.
Yeah, that
Back
one's
to
seen
the
some
basics.
dubs.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going with this hoodie, DraftKings.
I find it fairly amazing that adult human beings in my employ think that a shirt they put on during a game changes
Oh,
the
but me
result
being
of
there.
the play.
Yeah, but who called for that New York graphic, Dan Le Batard?
You went the tip, and
Mr. Sample size, 0-2. They were overtime losses, by the way.
Shirts don't matter.
That's just the overtime numbers evening out for Florida.
My jersey's never lost in regulation.
Kachuk is out there, and the only part of his body that works is his navel. And you guys are like, I know, I'll get it out of my dresser, and this is what's going to win this game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you're well, and no one thanks me when I pull the jersey that's 2-0-1.
You should get a ring. I mean,
I should get a ring. What are you talking about?
Given how much Chris sweats through some of that stuff, I imagine there is a ring around like the collar of it. Bill Walton joins us now on 790 The
Dan,
Ticket.
great to be with you today.
Likewise, Bill. Thank you for coming with the usual, the customary energy that you come with.
I'm fired up and ready to go. The NBA's 65th season is underway. It's going to be the best, the most successful, the most exciting, and the most profitable one in NBA history. We are planning on the miracle. We are seeking shelter from the storm. We are listening to Electric on the Eel as we approach the days between in the summertime here.
I'm pretty certain I've been to 2 or 3 Dead & Company shows with Bill, but Bill doesn't know he's been to 2 or 3 with me. It's unbelievable.
I know. I do know Stugotz. Yeah, because I'm the luckiest dude in the world, man. I found basketball when I was 8 years old, 3 years after I found my bike. And then, just 1 year later, I found Chick Hearn on the radio, and that changed everything for me. When I was 15, I found the Grateful Dead, Stugotz, UCLA, and John Wooden. Then when I was 17, I found the ultimate mentor, Ernie Vanderway. 28, Marty Glickman taught me how to speak. When I was 37, I found the woman of my dreams, Lori, the greatest everything ever. She's not a thing, but I can't think of a better word than everything. Things change along the way, as it often does with the Grateful Dead show. And man, the way they opened last night up at Burgesstown in Pennsylvania, just west of Pittsburgh there. Wow, hell in a bucket in the Alabama getaway. They were rocking last night. To be able to follow it all on nugs.net. And Stugotz, I hope to see you out there ASAP. I'm not sure what shows you're going to be able to get to, but look for me. I'm the tall guy with the big smile on his face. Hopefully Kevin will be able to continue to play well. You never know. It's a basketball game. It's the Dead Show. It's the Dan Le Batard Show. You never know what's going to happen. You never know when you're going to go. Nikola Jokic is like, well, one of the Florida Keys, or he's like the big river of water coming right down through Central Florida and ending up there in the Everglades and just making it all happen. But just watch out for all the alligators in there. Dan Le Batard Show. Stugotz. We'll see you on the floor.
He is a spiritual gangster.
When you've been, Dan, where I've been, when you have a life that's not worth living because of the orthopedic spine issue that I've had over the last few years, and then you get better, and your life is never the same again, and everything is different, and what it teaches you is the ultimate lessons in life: perspective, relativity, tolerance, and patience. And as we are faced in a world that's racked by greed and selfishness, we have so many people who are trying to do so many good things.
Bill, we have to get you on again because I want to talk Grateful Dead with you.
Call anytime, Dan. I'm always ready. Let's go. And you tell LeBron to stand tall because that guy is fantastic. Don't let the little people bring him down because of their jealousy, because of their own problems out there. LeBron, that guy's phenomenal.
He's phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
You're phenomenal.
Better than perfect.
You're better than perfect.
Incredible.
You're better than
Spectacular.
perfect.
Feed the children, World Hunger Relief. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bill Walton. I didn't even get to talk Grateful Dead with him.
We can't have him on enough.
That man is a prophet, a giant freckled prophet. I will tell you, Stugotz, that over the last couple of years, it seems like this show has been bombarded by loss, people we care about, people that we have relationships with. And what I will say of Bill Walton that is different than I think about anybody in the history of our show, and I can't think of a lot of people walking the globe that I could say the following about. I associated Bill Walton always, from playing days on, with being in a great deal of pain, and his disposition never revealed it.
Right.
I don't know how.
Amazing.
I don't know how he did that because I think that we can get all caught up in our self-involvement, and there probably isn't a lot beyond pain that anyone listening to this is going to notice if they're in pain. It's a very personal, intensely personal thing that is a burden only you're carrying around, and his body didn't work right almost the entire time that he was a famous person. Being a 7-footer, this is a pretty long lifespan for a 7-footer because of the battering the body takes. But I really do associate this human being with always being in pain and always being somehow positive, someone who gave off a positive energy to anyone he came in contact with despite it.
Always smiling, always in a good mood, despite the pain you're talking about.
He couldn't have actually always been in a good mood. Some
No.
of that had to be a mask for others.
In public, he was always in a good mood. He was always smiling. He always wanted to send a positive message. I got to spend a little time with him, like over the last couple of years. I saw him in San Francisco less than a year ago. I watched a few Dead songs with him at one of the final Dead and Company shows, and I went to Shoreline with him and Luke Walton for a show. Like, I've had some good times with Bill Walton. Bill Walton, you would never know, Dan. I knew he was in pain, but you're right, because I just know his history of injury and being in pain. But you would never know it spending any sort of time with him. Like, he was always gracious.
It's hard
with his time.
It's hard to believe,
Yes.
honestly, because it's not just like I'm sure many people in our audience are in some sort of daily pain. But this is a person that I associate every walking step that he took because he had foot problems, because he had back problems. You can look up how many surgeries he had to have, but he had to have too many of them because I just simply associate his entire playing career with overcoming pain. And when it's every walking step, Stugotz, I don't know how you keep a positive mood. When you're waking up every morning and what greets you upon waking up is my body doesn't feel good. I don't feel good in the case that I have to carry around all day.
Just to lend to what type of pain he was in, I asked him once, like, hey, Bill, sit down. Because if you go to a Dead show, you will see Bill Walton. He'll be, by the sound stage. He'll be standing up the entire time. He doesn't want to block anyone. He doesn't want to get in anyone's way. He's friends with the band. And I said to him once, like, hey, Bill, sit down. And he said sitting down, standing up, too much pain.
Yeah, it hurts
Too
much.
painful. I'd just rather stand.
38 surgeries.
Yeah.
My wife asked me who Bill Walton was because she says I see a bunch of stuff on social media, and I appreciated the opportunity to try to explain who Bill Walton was because I don't have any memories of him playing basketball. I just remember him being around the game and being a wildly charismatic and popular dude that was in this. Look, people have a ton of strong opinions. Ask Reggie Miller. When it comes to basketball broadcasting, he was always atop everyone's list. They all loved him. He was just beloved by everyone around the sport, and it didn't play well to our montage because that's notoriously quick hits here and there. But there was one time he joined our show. You asked him one question, and that was like premeditated.
There were 2 times.
We went into this interview trying to ask no more than one question, and at least once we got there.
I just said hello to Bill on Stupidity once, and he went for 35 minutes.
As great as his playing career was, I don't think it's what people will remember him for because of how long ago it was. I believe it's sort of his spiritual, aligned with the cosmos, sort of crazy broadcaster guy. I think he had a career that was more memorable as a personality than as a player.
We should remember the broadcasting part of it because it was unique and it was different, especially this show who strives to be a little bit different than the other shows. Bill Walton was different.
Oh,
yeah.
Throw it down, big man, is a signature call.
Yes.
I still say that in my home anytime a big guy doesn't want to throw it down. I say it in a Bill Walton voice. Throw it down, big man.
Do you know how hard it is for him to be beloved when play-by-play people didn't actually love how difficult he could make it because he wasn't playing by the rules? He's not stopping talking when he's supposed to or talking about any of the things he's supposed to talk about. He was just always being Bill Walton, and it was not confined to whatever it is your limits are.
The right play-by-play people did. You know, it seems that Dave Pash, Jason Benetti, just a couple of different examples, and that was in baseball. Boog, where the right person who understood the light that Bill Walton could bring into someone's home through his broadcasting allowed him to function in that space in a way that made that impact so special on all of us.
It was funny to hear Dave Pash on SportsCenter yesterday talking about him, and he was talking about when he first started working with him. As much as you want to let him go, you gotta rein him in. Because he said Mike Tirico called him early in his career, was like, I know you want to let him go, but you gotta rein him in a little bit because he'll just go everywhere.
Well, I'll go a step further on this, and I know we get carried away with prisoner of the moment or whatever is the last thing is the best thing. But you do understand that no one's allowed to be that anymore, right? Like you're not. You
Correct,
can be Charles Barkley on a studio show, but you're not allowed to be on the broadcast and not respect the broadcast. You're not allowed to be on the broadcast and not be partners with everyone around you and the sport and just do your own thing. There's not someone who's allowed to exist that way. I don't even know who you'd go with on second place. Someone who sits next to the play-by-play guy and is allowed to just be themselves, and it doesn't matter whether they're talking about the game or not. They're just being ambassador for entertaining and loves basketball, but doesn't necessarily need to be talking about basketball.
And I don't know how much of it was his own personal life and desire to keep a lighter schedule, but even he, in the later part of his career, was only allowed to be that on like Pac-12 Network Sicko Delight type games, which was always an appeal. Like, oh, this is a game that the most appealing thing about it is Bill Walton's on the call, and Pash is going to kind of let him go.
Didn't he die the day after the conference did? The last the day after the
Roxy Bernstein signed off on Pac-12 Network, and no one was really sad about it.
I was very sad about it. I don't know what you're talking about. He actually thanked Bill Walton in his sign-off, so it was like a sweet moment, but I was very sad. For me, at least, there was never really the appeal of watching Pac-12 basketball, except if I knew Bill Walton was on the call, and I would stay up every single time.
Is the Dick Vitale, Bill Walton stuff, is that something that ends with them? Like, is there going to be some young broadcaster who's allowed to do it that way?
In terms of color commentary, I don't really see it. Like, in terms of play-by-play, Harlan's got an aspect of that to him.
Oh, but play-by-play has too many confinements. Yeah. You can have personality, but there's a top end to it. I'm talking about the the Dick Vitale, because Gus Johnson does that too, has personality, but Dick Vitale, Bill Walton, who else is somebody that you would associate with putting the color in colorful, putting the
Clyde.
Clyde's a good one.
Yeah, that's the only.
Yeah.
And he's from like a bygone era. Like now, you don't really see those characters. He's a holdover from this Walton era.
Maybe they'll let Jason Kelsey do it in the NFL because he seems to be the personality everybody loves right now.
Maybe, but Jason Kelsey's going to have to push the envelope and be a little more extreme than he is right now in order to reach those heights.
It is time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Weekend observations brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, just 96 calories, available for delivery. Dan, it's one of my favorite weeks on the sports calendar. The red clay. Players sliding all over the place. The long, grueling matches. The sights, the sounds, Paris, the city of lights, and Dano, just like that. Make no mistake about it, the French Open is back. You excited?
Is Nadal finished?
Well, for this tournament, yes, he is done.
But is he finished? Is it all over?
Well, I'll get to that.
We will?
Yeah.
You're usually in a big hurry to get to whether or not someone's finished.
I'll get to it here.
Oh, you're going to get to it okay.
Within weekend observations, I will get to it.
I
Yeah.
thought you were just going to get to it eventually.
We'll address it. Pacers Celtics, the rare series where a team was up late in every game and somehow still got swept. Weird series. If you saw one game of the Pacers Celtics series, you saw them all. Fair?
Yep.
Thank you. Wow. Never agreed so quickly.
Yeah. They were all the same.
If the Celtics made Aaron Nemhard look like Luka, what do you think will happen when they actually have to play Luka? Luka's not going to win a title. I mean, come on. C's, right? Historical team that no one's giving credit to. It can't be Luka.
Be kind of great if it was, though. A surprise NBA champion? Get out of here.
I don't think it's, I don't know. Is it a surprise?
Stugotz, you're not allowed after
Luka and Kyrie.
Stugotz, but at no point, and in any point in the last 3 years, have you said that you thought the Dallas Mavericks were a champion.
You're right.
You're not
Never
allowed
said
to
it,
now
never-
say that you're not surprised.
But they're close. I could do what I want.
I mean, but that's not true. You can't say you're not surprised.
You're right. Southampton promoted. You know where the Saints are marching, Dano?
Are they marching in?
Right back to the Premier League.
I couldn't have guessed that one. It was a dumb question.
Well, he said that they won promotion.
Yeah. Hey, media, you should be embarrassed for how quickly you crowned Anthony Edwards. Anybody who even thought to compare him to Michael Jordan should get their credentials revoked, making a mockery of our business. It's embarrassing. It really is. Ant Edwards. More like Ain't Edwards, as in Ain't Michael Jordan. Seriously. Manchester City. Dude in the FA Cup final. Oilers Stars. Nothing like a Canadian team going up against an American team, so we get a battle of national anthems. I love that. I do. I love O Canada. Is it bad to say I like their anthem better than our anthem? It's not.
Well, they had the entire crowd singing it, though.
Yes, yesterday you can't say it. Today, I don't know. Too soon? Too soon.
It's a great anthem, though.
Put it on the poll, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Do you love the Canadian anthem better than any other anthem?
Before a hockey ref can call an embellishment penalty, they should have to get cross-checked in the back to see how they would react.
I like that.
That was awesome last night. How do you not embellish when you get cross-checked in the back? They said embellishing. Well, if it's embellishing, then it's not a cross-check. You look at the replay. No, proper cross-check to the lower spine.
Stash this away in the Something to Ponder file. Only 4 teams in the National League have winning records. Is nobody good, or is everybody good? No need to discuss now. Stash it away for a rainy day. Death, taxes, and speed traps on Memorial Day. Top 5 athletes that connote a traffic violation. OLI.
This is exciting.
Trooper Taylor. Running cop. Number 5. Speedy Claxton. Number 4. Lawyer Malloy. Number 3. Kyron the Siren Williams. Number 2. Jim Crash Jensen. And number 1. Jay Walker.
Entering yesterday, I believe the Dodgers had lost 5 straight, and they increased their lead on the division.
Amazing. They have no business losing 5 straight with that team. Serious. Embarrassing.
Who is Jay Walker? I don't know who that is.
Listen, I Googled Jay Walker, and there was one. And he was an athlete. I mean,
okay, but
it's all that matters.
Okay,
I got my guy.
But you weren't able to retain anything after that.
Or it could be Jason Walker. You just shortened it.
No,
to Jay.
it was Jay Walker. I was very excited when I got Jay Walker. Baseball player, I think.
You don't know?
Jay Walker.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Speaking of Jays, here comes Toronto.
7th round draft pick by the 1994 New England Patriots.
Bingo. That's
Played
the guy.
4 seasons.
That's the baseball player?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Hall of Famer. 2018. MIAC.
It's a weird one.
Did you just look up Jay Walker? Like, how did never mind.
I was right. Apologize. Ed Werder is out at ESPN, but good news. He's still living at AT&T Stadium.
Is he really out?
Yep.
Yeah, he's out.
26
No,
years.
Yeah,
not
he's
again.
out.
I can't take this again.
He's out.
Again,
out.
twice they've gotten Ed Werder.
Yeah. Carl Anthony Towns saying he's getting up 1,500 shots a day. Hey, Carl, number 1, you're not. Number 2, you're shooting 13% from 3 this series. Maybe work on getting in the paint. Seriously, take a shot closer. You got to see one go in, Dan. You know what I'm saying? Then you go back to the 3. You know what they say about the numbers, right, Dan? They never lie. Rangers-Panthers, the rare series where one team is dominated for 95% of the series, but is down 2-1.
It's frustrating.
It is. If the Panthers can't win with this team, it's time for the question. If not now, when? Fair?
Roy's not worried.
No, I'm not. I'm not worried at all.
At all, dude.
No, not at all.
What if they go up
It's a lie.
1-0 tonight?
I mean, you're
Then
lying.
I'll be concerned a little bit more.
So 1 goal is the difference?
1 goal.
One goal.
Yeah.
It was
But you're
it was the night before.
But you're speaking with such bravado that it doesn't seem to be hinging on 1 goal, like you just admitted.
But if they allow a goal in the first 10 seconds tonight, then you're going to immediately be afraid.
I mean,
No.
first 10 seconds, it wouldn't be.
No. We got 3 periods to play, man. Come on.
If I'm at a hockey game and somebody scores a hat trick, I'm not certain I'm throwing my hat on the ice.
Oh, I'm not.
I paid for that thing.
I'm not.
A hattie.
I paid all this money for this cap. I'm not doing that.
Plus, it's so hard to get it over the net.
I
now.
know.
Yeah.
It depends on your seat.
Yep.
What am I going to do? Throw it to the first row so someone can be like, hey,
Thank
look
you.
at this hat.
Yep.
Mine now. No thanks.
Begs the question, what do teams do with the hat trick hats?
I believe they give them away to
My hats?
entities
What?
that
You
would.
think they
I didn't
ever-
give them
You
permission.
think they ever slap a sticker
What
on
happened
it
there?
and it goes right back to retail?
No.
A used cap.
It's generally like the drunk. I feel like you're more likely to throw a hat if you're drunk and sweaty.
Definitely.
Like, those hats are
Yes.
probably not the cleanest of the group.
Employees must love that. Like, oh, it's free hat day at work tomorrow.
Rangers are 2-0 since they started dressing Matt Rempe. He sets the tone. The Rempire State Building. Such a great nickname. The Mets are 22-30 with the top payroll in baseball. I hate them. Another day, another blown save by Edwin Diaz. The Mets paid $102 million for a mid-5 ERA. They should replace Edwin Diaz's trumpets with a sad trombone. The things you do driving around North Carolina on a gummy in the passenger seat. Top 5 songs Edwin Diaz should come out to. Number 5, Loser, Grateful Dead. Number 4, Cough It Up, Goose. Number 3, Here We Go Again, David Guetta and Oliver Tree.
Who's got the more famous Losers song? Is it Grateful Dead or Beck? Which is the more famous?
I won't even entertain that question.
Well, what
It's
is
Beck.
Neither will I. It's Beck.
Yeah, it's back.
It's Beck.
Wow, get out of here.
Beck.
For sure.
Bill Walton is rolling over in his grave. I mean,
How about these?
Too soon?
How about these? Yes, too soon.
I don't think he's in one yet.
miss you, Bill.
How about these horns for Edwin Diaz?
Number 2, Groundhog's Day. It's a song. Look it up.
Groundhog.
Ern
Is plural?
Bellhold. Yeah. And number 1, Choke. Great band. I don't know how they found me.
Is it just one groundhog?
It is
and
a
it's
single.
possessive.
Yes, but I don't want to make fun of him. Old age puts S's on things.
It's Groundhog's Day.
It's only one groundhog.
I'm telling you, it's Groundhog's Day.
Groundhog Day.
I mean, yell at Ern. Don't yell at me.
Okay.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Groundhog Day or Grounds Hog Day?
That gummy I took over the weekend was called Valhalla. Dangerous game.
Not if you're a golfer.
40 milligrams.
No one seems to like that course.
Angel Hernandez is retiring. One might say it's the first good call he's ever made. We're going to miss that guy.
I really do want to have a contest where we come up with someone who can top Angel Hernandez for sustained incompetence across decades. Like sustained, historic, rewarded incompetence.
Mark
Me.
Emmert. Oh. You and Mark Emmert.
Thank you. I'm in the conversation.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju. Most incompetent. Stugotz, Mark Emmert,
Well, thank you.
Angel Hernandez.
The Detroit Lions.
How unlikable is Boston? Where the nation is rooting for and rallying behind Kyrie Irving. And think about it.
We will reinvent everything we've said about Kyrie Irving just to make him a winner. We want him so badly to win.
Blake Snell getting paid $31 million a year to go 0-3 with a 10.42 ERA.
He was so good last year.
He should tow the slab with a ski mask on.
He was so good last year. Impossibly good.
Ski mask. Anyway.
Total slab.
Dan, you know what the H in Al Horford stands for?
Put it on the poll, Juju.
Hall of Famer.
Have you ever used the phrase toe the slab?
BC women's lacrosse goalie, Shea Dolce. Credit where credit is due. Save of a lifetime. Mike saw it. The save of a lifetime. Amazing. Great job by her. Cost my kid a ring.
Thought Izzy Skane had it.
Oh, Izzy Skane. What a great career. Tip of the cap. I'm going to tip it right now. Izzy Skane. Tip of the cap.
No, that's hats off. Like,
I'm not throwing my
tip of the
hat.
cap.
Yeah,
tip
yeah,
is
yeah,
just
tip it.
You're right,
doing this
tip.
with the
Sorry
bill of the
about
cap.
that.
Yeah.
In this week's edition of May, Dan Orlovsky says Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence is not a top 12 quarterback, and Pro Football Focus snubbed Baker Mayfield on their list of NFC top quarterbacks. I can't speak, man. The sphere.
Valhalla.
Groundhog's Day.
40 milligrams.
40.
I said 40.
Wow.
Christ.
I didn't read the label.
Good God.
That can't be true.
Valhalla.
It can be true.
I think it's
Dangerous
true.
game.
It would make sense for that to be the only true thing Stugotz has ever said.
40 MGs.
That's unbelievable.
Let's talk after the show.
Lucy is looking
I
at
can't.
you just floored. Her mouth is hanging open. Yes, he can't. He's sedated. It's an elephant tranquilizer.
The amount of sweet Thai Doritos that I'd put down after that.
Oh, my God. If I'm the Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani never pitches again. Nothing is more Notre Dame than their men's lacrosse team having their two best players be brothers with the last name Kavanaugh. Those guys. I mean, they're good. but they're Notre Dame. The Kavanaugh brothers. The rare NBA playoffs that get more boring with each passing round. You missed the Knicks? The R in Rafael Nadal stands for retire. Retire! I said it. I addressed it.
You did, as promised.
You agree?
I mean, I let people retire when they'd like to.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want anyone telling me when I should retire.
Okay. Can I retire?
We're going to stop paying you.
Oh, you are? I'm out of here.
I think we have like a police department pension program here.
I'll
It's
take
individualized. It's your 401k.
I'm good. Huh. The Pacers' best player is T.J. McConnell, and it feels like the only person who doesn't know it is Rick Carlisle. Also, getting to the Eastern Conference Finals with T.J. McConnell as your best player might be one of the greatest coaching jobs in NBA history.
That's what everyone's saying. Wow, what a great coach, Rick Carlisle.
Scottie Pippen said he never won Defensive Player of the Year because everyone was always looking at Michael Jordan. Scottie, I'm serious. For the love of God, just let it go. I mean, Jordan made him. Bill Walton passes away, and suddenly everyone's a Grateful Dead fan. Enough.
He's been mad about this
Enough.
all day.
Enough.
All day he's been mad at
Bill,
this.
I went to a show with him. Oh, Bill got me tickets to this. Oh, I went to the dead. You know what? If you didn't talk about it when it actually happened, it didn't happen in my personal record book. StugottsBook.com. How about that? It's doing very well, by the way. Thank you to everyone who wrote it. The Mavericks currently have Rudy Gobert, the four-time Defensive Player of the Year, in hell trying to guard them. I can't speak. Valhalla,
Yeah.
40 milligrams,
40 milligrams.
the Sphere.
Yeah.
Speaking of
They
speak,
just added more dates.
Yes.
Speaking of hell,
Yes.
Arp Riles, Dan, those are the weekend observations. I'm retiring.
Greetings.
Bet your Roy doesn't like Rudy Gobert.
Greetings.
Guaranteed.
He is an interesting individual.
Yeah, thank you, Roy.
That was interesting. He said he was interesting. He said he didn't dislike. He didn't say he disliked them. I don't see Roy Wood saying publicly that he dislikes a whole lot of people he doesn't know.
Interesting is code for, yeah, I don't like that guy. I
All
mean, I'm
right.
just saying.
Is it code?
I need to meet him. I need more information. That's what I'm saying. Because until I meet you, it's hard for me to size you up when all I know about you is what you do at your job. Because, we're all going to have bad days at the job. Just his are in front of millions of people, and some days he does his job really well, and then other days it's terrible.
Can you tell us more about your jacket collection, please? The last time you were on with us, it was an old school Expos jacket. So this is an old school Cubs jacket. How many of these do you have?
I probably own, of these types of jackets, I'd say about 15 of varying teams, predominantly Cubs, but old Cooperstown collection type stuff. I wear it proud now because I'm 45. This jacket would get you killed in 87. You couldn't wear no stuff like this back in the day. They'd snatch this right off your back or put a bullet in your head. So now, that's what adulthood is. It's just wearing all the stuff and buying all the stuff you couldn't buy when you were younger. Now I'm grown.
He's only got 3 shows left on his Happy to Be Here tour. I suggest this Sunday, Bloomington, Indiana, June 21st, St. Louis, June 22nd in his beloved Chicago. You could get tickets at roywoodjr.com. And he's also the host of a new 4-part podcast. It launches today from NPR. It's Road to Rickwood. It's the oldest professional baseball stadium in the country. It's deep ties to the Negro Leagues, to the civil rights movement. Roy, I always like when you bring your excellence and your illumination to sports. Why did this project call you?
One, it's the field where I played my high school. It's the field where I rode the bench in high school. So it's near and dear to my heart. But also, Rickwood Field is so connected to baseball and the history of the sport. And it's a 4-part series. They're doing MLB is doing a tribute to the Negro Leagues game on June 20th. And so leading up to that game, you know, the folks at NPR and MLB, they reached out. They thought it would be cool to like really dig into the story of 100+ years of baseball at that particular venue and how it connects to who we are as a people today. And I'm like, yo, it's a chance to go home for free and not stay at my mama's house. Yes, I will take your hotel per diem, Major League Baseball.
Okay.
And I'll sit down and, we talked with old major leaguers, old Birmingham Black Barons. Man, you know, I got to give a shout out to Bill Greason. I got to give a shout out to Al Holt. So many people who just talked about playing there with Willie Mays and Satchel Paige, and Babe Ruth came through. Reggie Jackson came through. So many people over the decades have set foot in that Birmingham Park. And it's just a cool story to tell, man. You know, to be able to honor the Negro Leagues in this way is my way of paying back to a game that I suck at, but I love.
You are someone of an age that you respect what Mike Tyson was. He is a betting underdog against Jake Paul. He had a big medical scare on a cross-country flight on Sunday. He presently looks like this, Roy. We showed him recently walking with a cane, TMZ.
Got him in that airport wheelchair. Got my man in that pre-boarding chair.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like he's ready to fight a sanctioned fight.
For me, it's the tennis outfit.
Yes, it's the whole thing. But what do you think here of all of this, Roy?
Dan, I know that I'm here on this segment to give you my guaranteed for sure, kind of, sort of, almost, whatever we've titled this segment, pick of the week, but I'm going to give you two. We're going to start with Mike Tyson. What I figured out in a couple of weeks with you, Dan Le Batard, is that history tells us with sports what's going to happen in the present. So what do we have right now? We have a president in legal crisis, former president, right? In legal crisis.
Yes.
In Donald Trump.
That's correct.
Okay. 1987, Iran-Contra hearings. Old Ronald Reagan got himself in a little hot water. You know who won a fight in 1987? Mike Tyson. 1999, Bill Clinton impeachment, acquittal. You know who won a fight in 1999? Mike Tyson. So now I give you here 2024.
This seems flimsy. This seems flimsy. This
Especially since two of them were like sitting presidents.
I picked the Dallas Mavericks correctly. You will respect my research.
Yep. You did. You told everyone to bet the house on the Mavs to make the finals.
Mike Tyson in 4 rounds.
Oh, wow.
And I don't care.
Wow.
And I don't care if he's in this weird pre-boarding chair and he gets to get on the plane first. Mike Tyson, 4 rounds. History says so. I don't know what round he won. I don't know how he beat Burbick in 99, and he beat some no-name in 87. But my point is,
Burbick was the first round in the Bahamas. He beat his ass.
Okay. You're just making this more solid. You're making this more solid. A president was in trouble in 87, Tyson won. A president was in trouble in 99, Tyson won. A president is in trouble in 2024.
You got it.
These are guaranteed. These are kind of, don't say guaranteed because legal, but these are, I'm pretty, exactly. Probably going to happen.
That's right. It's as close to a guarantee as you can get without getting in trouble with legal. You were in Dallas recently. Can you tell me your appraisal of Kyrie Irving? He is.
Yeah. I really think that, the Mavericks, here's the thing about Dallas as a city. This is the other thing we have to think about. When Kyrie is playing in a boring place, he's better. Cleveland, love you. Not a lot to do downtown after 10 p.m. Not a lot of mischief in Cleveland. Boston, it's a lot of mischief. Dallas is the perfect mixture. Dallas has places to go, but Dallas also, you've been to Texas, it's long stretches of nothingness. So you get to think and focus and just look up and think about basketball. It ain't like Brooklyn. Brooklyn is chaos. When he played in Brooklyn, it's chaos because there's too much to do in New York City. Dallas, you take your ass to Whataburger and then you go and you shoot jumpers with Luka. And then you hit the strip club on the weekend. Dallas is like, it's like Atlanta, but everything's spread out, so you can't get in much trouble because it's a long drive. That's the beauty of Dallas. That's why I said, why do you think the Dallas Stars balling out in hockey?
Is that why? Is he right about that?
Yes.
That's why?
Yes.
Okay.
You can the good strippers only come to Dallas on the weekend, so you can't get in trouble during the weekdays. Brooklyn is around the clock. Atlanta's around the clock. Why do you think Atlanta ain't got no champions in a long-ass time? It's too many strippers.
Well, that's I've heard that theory thrown out before, actually, that you can get into too much trouble in Atlanta. How about the Trump trial? It is closing arguments today. The jury could reach a verdict as soon as tomorrow. You told us last time you were on with us that nobody cared, but we did make fun of all of the courtroom artists. Do you have any insight for us today on the Trump trial?
Not too much more on the Trump trial other than look at that. It just looks like he's drooling out of his mouth. Like it's not even. We cannot have these courtroom sketch artists anymore. I'm sorry, Le Batard. I don't want to be. I'm not here to hate on anybody's industry, but if there's ever an industry where we could kind of give this job to AI and be the courtroom sketch artist. Did you hear about Submarine Man? We're gonna do Submarine again.
Wait a minute. I saw this in the New York Post. Are you talking about the Ocean Gate explosion, the Ohio billionaire who's going to take a $20 million sub down to the Titanic site?
Yeah, to prove to us that the submarine industry is safe. Who are you proving it to? Nobody's lining up to take the deep 2-mile Marinara trench ride. When we said submarines are safe, I wanted to see some dolphins off the coast of Cancun. Show me the dolphins at 20 feet, you bitch, and then I can swim up and get to leaking.
Submarines are not safe. No, I'm with you on this. Submarines cannot be described as safe under any conditions.
I'm torn about this billionaire, though, because generally speaking, I like when billionaires go and explore stuff because it just means that they're not somewhere doing something sinister. Like, I appreciate billionaires who just trying to go somewhere. Take your ass over there then. Leave the money, but take your ass on over there. But this billionaire, like, everybody's kind of rooting for him to die and, oh, you're going to die. He made his money in real estate. He's a landlord of a bunch of luxury apartments, and that's how he made his bread. But he has programs set up for rent for low-income people. He sets up low-income housing. So there's parts of his portfolio that are very, very benevolent, and I kind of don't want to see this dude die at the bottom of the ocean. But if we're talking NBA Finals, we need him to die. So
what?
If he goes down this year, preferably before the finals get started, if this new billionaire goes down in that submarine, bet the Dallas Mavericks all the way 5 games over Boston. Last year, we had a billionaire go down in a submarine and die. Who was the NBA champions? A white dude from a country where people don't smile, and a black dude.
Wait a minute.
Tell him, Roy.
Of the 2 teams, you let me finish, Le Batard. Of the 2 teams in the finals this year, which team has a white dude from a country where people don't smile and a black dude?
Well, is it because Porzingis is injured? He doesn't count as being a white dude from a country.
He's not P1. Porzingis is the second option off the dribble. No disrespect. He's not. His picture ain't on the ticket when you buy a ticket to the game. It ain't Porzingis doing a layup. It's Luka. Luka, Kyrie, foreign white man from a smileless country with black man, guaranteed back-to-back years. Don't listen to me. Listen to history.
RoyWoodJr.com is where you get the tickets. It's his bona fide, surefire, guaranteed, sort of guaranteed.
If the billionaire dies. If he dies.
See you later, Roy.
He has to die. That's the important.
See you later.
All right.
See you later. See you later.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.